Hi everyone. So, we may start now. What is the human tendency? To settle or to strive? Let's be honest. Every single day, we all are faced with challenges and dilemmas. Some of them can alter our mood, our perspective, or even path of life. We constantly, humans, have a daily choice to either face the music or turn away from it. It is our choice to either wake up one day and choose to conquer and chase and grow, or to simply stick our heads in the sand and let the world wait. What is interesting and very fascinating to me is why are we more likely to choose one side over the other? So why are we more likely to choose the comfort side or the drive side, right? So, to answer this question, we have to dig deeper. We have to understand what the comfort side is, and we have to understand what the drive side is. Let's say that the comfort side is a state of mind where we feel safe. It's a state of mind where we feel comfort, of course. Opportunities are, of course, less, but they're predictable. We know what we're doing, we know what we're saying, we know what's the next step. Everything is predictable and sometimes even planned. What is this leading to? We are certain. We are possibly even confident in ourselves and what we do because we know what the next step is. Everyday examples and situations feel familiar and even stable. So some people, of course, choose the comfort side. It's way easier, it's way more accessible, it's just simple. Now that we understand one of the sides, I want to give you my own example of a comfort side. Like I was presented just seconds ago, I want to talk about Nerd TV. So I am the founder of a company and a website called Nerd TV, right? I had to present this idea in an event, which was in Vilnius. It was called Expo, and here in the event, I presented the whole company, the idea, what it did, why, and so on. So put yourself in my shoes. Imagine it's just you, a computer that can decide to shut up any second, and just students, hundreds of them, looking at your work, criticizing you, and so on. And not only students, but also judges. They can be even condescending, even harsh. You're scared, of course, I was too, but I took the leap. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and that really paid off. So, not only I found other students and friends who showed me amazing ideas, also, I simply got constructive criticism, which was very helpful to me. I learned how to better my idea. I learned how to go out and present more. It was very helpful. Now, what does this lead to? This leads me to say that, okay, now we understand the comfort zone. What's next? Drive for success. This is a completely different side of us that we all have. Yes, we all have the comfort zone, and yes, we all have the drive for success, or in other words, growth. Now, what is it? It's basically a voice in our mind that pushes us to do more. It's a voice in our mind that pushes us to make more, create more, experience, right? We have it daily or on and off. It tells us to move forward, to experience and to feel. It tells us that even from that, you can gain happiness and purpose and so on. It's a state where things can be risky, things can be not predictable, and that's scary. This is why it's way easier to pick the comfort side, because on this side, we don't know what's going on, we don't know where we are, we don't know what we're doing, but that's where the most growth becomes. That's where we gain most growth and most lessons and so on. So now that we understand what the comfort side is, and now that we understand what the growth side is, you can see the contrast behind them. You can see that there are two very different sides, and I want to raise the same question to you again. Why do some people choose the growth side over the comfort zone? But why do some people choose the comfort side and not the drive side? We constantly dabble and dance between the two sides, so why? Why is that a thing? The same question, right? So, let's start by the comfort zone. Simply to say, it's evolution. Not only, but the main point of this is evolution, of course. So since the dawn of the human race, we have been told and we have just known the fact that we will always seek comfort. Humans will always seek for it, humans will always try to find it. Because what's unfamiliar, what's scary, is a risk. We cannot go there, we should ignore it, we should go away from it. If something is unfamiliar, if something is unpredictable, it's scary, and immediately we can cage in, we cannot talk, we can stay in our comfort zones, we cannot go out, right? So thousands of years ago, the threats of us humans were simple as, well, not that simple, wild animals or starvation or even hostile tribes, right? That was very scary to us humans. So what did we do? We stayed in the tribes. We saw wild animals and lions, and we saw hostile tribes. We even saw how there wasn't food. What did we do? We all connected and we all stayed in the tribe. We stayed in our comfort zones. We didn't go out, we didn't scatter, we didn't do those things because it's scary. So evolution and the instinct to stay inside taught us survival. People survived and we evolved just because we stayed in our comfort zone. It was a big upper hand to stay in your own little bubble and not to do things because they were scary or not certain. Right? So, it was predictable. Now, staying near the tribe, like I said, saved lives. It was amazing how humans could just live and evolve just because they didn't do something. The instinct that the nature gave us really made us stay alive and evolve even to the days that we are. Right, we evolved, but what else do we know? We know the fact that the threats changed. So from fearing animals and from fearing starvation, we started fearing job applications or even going out in public or giving a speech, right? We started fearing things like making a phone call. So we don't fear lions anymore. We don't feel starvation anymore. We start fearing simple things like going in public or failing in public or rejection. So society changed. Of course, society just keeps changing every single day, right? And it's changed ginormously, but our nervous system, we could say, didn't change. We stayed the same. We see a threat, we see a danger, we see something that we're not certain about, we stay the same, we cage in. Next thing that I want to talk about, another point, it's not as big as the evolution thing, but still, it's pretty important, is perfectionism. So to some people, perfectionism can be a real tough problem. Usually perfectionism can be negative. So if you failed in the past, or if you had struggles in the past, or even faced rejection, why should you go out again, right? Why should you do the same thing over and over? Why should you put in work if it's not going to be perfect? You could ask yourself or form questions like, okay, if I don't do this job, this project, this speech amazingly or perfect, flawless, then why should I do it at all? I want it to be perfect. I want it to be flawless. This is very unhealthy and just pushes us to our comfort zone. It just pushes us to cage in more, not share ideas, not share thoughts, right? Another point, which is also important, is the past. You can be affected not only by your perfectionism, but also your past. So for example, maybe in the past you presented a project. Like I said, maybe in the past you presented a speech, right? And maybe you got horrible criticism. Maybe you got a harsh comment. Maybe someone said how horrible it is. Maybe someone pointed out all the flaws. Maybe they didn't give you praise. That comment can really push you down. That comment can really push down on your self-esteem. And then you realize that why should I try again if it's not going to be good? Why should I try again? Or is it even worth it? You start asking your questions, you start fearing going out, you start just having self-doubt, which is also really unhealthy. So now that we understand that we choose the comfort zone because of evolution, because of perfectionism, and because of our past, let's move to why do we choose growth. So simply to say, some people, and I think a lot of people actually, have ambition. But what do we have, all of us? We have this feeling that we can be more. We have a feeling that our soul pulls us to be more, to grow more, to extend and to blossom and to reach new heights. This feeling of to become more, to reach something, is so big sometimes that it pushes you to do incredible things and incredible tasks. At moments you can feel that just, I need to do something and I have to do it. It's hard to explain. You should probably feel it yourself at times. Some people can feel an incredible pull to just succeed and achieve and so on. Also, some people may start going out of their comfort zone to be happy in their own skin. They may start taking on goals and adventures and so on to be happy in their own skin and how they are. Also, at the moment that you start growing, at the moment that you step out of your comfort zone, it's risky, there's pressure, but there's also purpose, right? Discomfort stops being a warning sign, and basically all the risk, all the discomfort, all the pressure may start feeling worth it. You may feel like, yeah, the process was hard, but it made me who I am. I found purpose, or I found joy, I found what I like, I found people along the way, and that feels worth all the pain that you went through, all maybe the shame and so on. So, another thing, just like in the last comfort zone point, I want to say that the past can influence you too. How? Well, the past can influence you in a good way. Maybe you got praise, maybe you got people telling you that they don't only appreciate your result, but also the good work you put in. And that's really motivating, that if other people appreciate what you do and what you reach, that just drives you to reach more and do more. And another point is, again, perfectionism. But what's fascinating is that perfectionism can be healthy. And that's weird because that isn't the traditional sense of perfectionism that we know. It's healthy since when, right? Perfectionism can actually be healthy in a way that you know that I can be more, not in an unhealthy way, but I can reach more, I'll be better next time. It's a healing process, it's self-growth. And that also can push you out of your comfort zone to reach more. Now, we understand both sides. Both are very tough, both are very detailed, right? What can we say else? We should know and we should realize that this whole dilemma, that this whole sense isn't just puzzling my mind or yours. It also has puzzled philosophers and people centuries after that and before that and so on. I chose two philosophers. One of them is Epicurus. So this is his quote, and what did he believe? Now we know that we have the comfort zone and the drive side, right? Epicurus believed that no struggle should be in your life. Chasing or striving is unnecessary. You should be where you are and you should enjoy what you have. That is real happiness. He believed that you shouldn't go out of your comfort zone. You shouldn't start striving and reaching goals. You should be happy where you are and content here. Why should you reach for more things? Free yourself from all the desires that you constantly get of what you not have. Free all of your mind from all the pleasures that you want. Comfort in his mind wasn't laziness, it was wisdom. That you should enjoy life's little things, that you should enjoy what you have, your surroundings. Now, the complete opposite of that is Nietzsche. Yeah, it's hard to pronounce his name, sorry. But this is his quote, yet again, and what does he say? So now we know that the last philosopher is all for comfort zone. He says to stay there, to be there, to enjoy it. But this philosopher says to step out of your comfort zone and constantly start reaching. He says you should not settle, you should strive. He says you should always reach for growth and even find purpose and so on. He says that struggles and pain are necessary to shape you as a person. Now it's your choice to believe whichever philosopher you want, of course. Either Epicurus or Nietzsche, right? They're two different completely philosophers and mindsets. Now, what does this lead me to? This leads me to explain consequences. If you choose your comfort zone and stay there too long, there are consequences. Just like if you stay in your drive side too long. The consequences of staying in your comfort zone are simple as opportunities start to minimize. You don't get as much opportunities and you get very little of them because you don't step out, right? There's also confidence, but barely any. You start feeling like it fades. you start comparing yourself to your peers or other people. You start feeling the left out FOMO effect, that my friends are reaching everything and taking opportunities, and I'm not. You may even compare yourself. You may even fall into a spiral of depression or anxiety, that I'm being left out, I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting here while other people are experiencing things. Also, at the end of that, the consequences can be of basically just you settling, not because you want to, but because, well, to drive is too far and the unknown feels too far. I may as well settle. So these are the consequences. And the drive consequences are as important. What can happen is you start to feel outburn. You start feeling like you're doing too much, or you can't constantly rest. You start feeling like all of this maybe isn't necessary. You may even start reaching for, not for your own dreams, but for someone else's. You may have a goal, but then change it, and then change it again, and you're lost with what you actually want. So understanding that both sides have their pros and cons, both sides have their minuses and pluses, we must say that the best thing to do here is to find balance. So your comfort zone and your drive for success, please notice and please remember that you should always dance between the two. You should not always stay in your comfort zone, but you should also not always stay in the drive zone. One will tire you out and one will stop you from your dreams. What you should do is find the balance and change up things. And what I want to say is, please remember that the journey of your life is not fully to be perfect or to stay in one zone. It's to keep becoming and keep growing. Thank you.